But it's kind of a weird feeling right now, because even though I know we've just played a big game, like I just talked to Martin about now, it doesn't feel as hype yet, because we still have some work to do. We're not finished yet, so while I'm really happy and somewhat relieved, there's still a bit of work to do before the satisfaction is completely there.
Hi guys, congratulations on the win. My question is for Rekkles. This is the first time a Western team and an EU team makes to the finals, at least in the last 7 years. I want to know, what does this mean for, after all this time, finally we have a Western team in the finals and a European team, but now with the Koreans and the Chinese playing Worlds?
Honestly, I don't think it means anything. I feel like if we win, that would mean something, but if we were to lose in the finals, people would forget about it in a year anyway, so I don't think anyone is sort of satisfied. Maybe the fans are, but for ourselves at least, I know we're all playing to win, so it's just another game.
Hey, Tyler for ESPN. This is for Wopo. We talked about over dinner a few nights ago about how you weren't really excited about playing Wonder or Licorice, but the Shy, who you've been a fan of for a long time, that excited you to play in the finals. Can you just talk about how it's going to feel to play the Shy in the finals, and are you excited?
Right now I'm not too excited. I think that we still have to prepare for the matches, get an idea of how it's going to go, but all in all, yeah, I look forward to playing him. I think he's a really good player. And if I, have a good game against him, if I can beat him, I think I can prove that I belong at the top.
Oh, congratulations. My question is for Rekkles. After beating EDG, you said that you felt like EDG was stronger than IG. After yesterday's series, do you still believe so? What will be your biggest worry going into the finals?
I don't really know what you can take away from our series today or yesterday's series, because I think both matches were really one-sided and way too easy for the good teams or the teams that were winning. So for me, I still believe that IG are struggling in a lot of areas in the game, so I would see ourselves as the favorites for the finals. I think we can just play our game and do our thing, and we're probably gonna end up as the winning team.
Hi, I'm Eric from ESPN Esports, Brazil. I have a question for Caps. You already played against Rookie 3 times in this tournament, and you will face him again at the finals. How do you think it's gonna be? It's a different story now because the final. What do you think?
So obviously we're playing a lot of big events, but we've never really played like a World's final before, so it's hard to say how I will play and how other people will play. But I feel like I have seen enough Rookie and I played against him enough now that I know kind of what his thing is. I know what makes him different from other mid laners, and I'm pretty confident going up against him. I think I just think what he does will be a lot hard to do in the final, and I think we just a better team, and I think we have a pretty good idea of how to beat him.
Hi guys, congratulations. My question is for Willip. Willip, man, you are half Brazilian, and you have now all Brazilian people's crowned for you. How you think about this? How you think about Brazilian crowd in finals?
I'm just really happy there's more people. The more people that look forward to Fnatic winning, the better, I think. It feels pretty good knowing that I have kind of a nation standing behind me. I think that most people want to see us win, at least from our side of the community, so I hope we can just give them that and pay off all the support that we've been getting, because I think that from the start, most people actually believed that we could make it this far, and the fact that we did just means we have to take it home to prove that we're the best team in the world. I'm not really too surprised. I figured that if they were going to leave a champion up that is very powerful, like Victor or Aatrox or something like this, C9 always had the tendency to take a cheese pick into it. I think this time around their pick was very lackluster. I don't think Echo is a champion that, into Victor specifically, will show results on stage. So I just played the best Victor I could, and apparently that was good enough to take him out.
Hello, my question is for...
So I'm really excited about my parents, or like my dad is here only now, but I'm really happy for my dad watching me, and I know that my mother and the rest of my family are watching me from home. So it's definitely very nice to have a lot of family supporting me. And I also saw there was like a cap sign in the crowd, and I saw there were a lot of like Fnatic fans. So it definitely excites me. It definitely makes me like hyped about the game, and it's hard to say how it exactly influences me, but it just makes it so when you're nervous or when you don't think if you have the confidence to go for something, you just want to go for it because you want to make the fans proud, and they're out there supporting you.
My question is for Jungback. We've seen that in these semifinals it has been much more of a dominant series since the teams have had a whole week to prepare as opposed to 2 days only. And what are the things you have to sort of go over when you only have 2 days as opposed to a whole week of preparation?
I think it comes down to scouting our opponents' level 1s, their jungle pathing, what champions they like to play, specific combinations of champions they like to play. And I think we have a really good staff for that. We have Dylan, myself, and Jack, who is not here with us right now. I mean, he's somewhere in the bleachers. And we just all separate the work and have a big workload. But because we have the goal to win Worlds, I think none of the players and the staff members are burning out yet, which usually happens to a lot of teams, and which I also think happened to C9 and G2, where they reached their goal, were overreached, and then they didn't feel the same hunger to keep working. And the hunger for us to win the finals is there, so we will keep working.
My name is Parks Housley. I'm with the Shot Caller. I have a question for Broxa. Earlier in this tournament, someone asked me what champion I thought was least likely to be in this whole Worlds tournament, and Rekkles was near the top of that list. But you pulled it out today, and you guys got the win. So, what was the inspiration behind that?
So in our quarterfinal game against EDG, Sinsa ended up being really high priority. So we figured that finding a counter or something that's good into Sinsa would be a good option, which is why we tested some picks, and Rekkles turned out to be the pick that is actually playable into Sinsa that can work really well. And even though early game was pretty poor this game, and I didn't get to show the matchup completely optimally, then it still worked out really well later on. So yeah, it was just based on the series against EDG where Sinsa looked really OP, and then yeah, Rekkles was a secret counter, at least playable.
One more question, guys.
This is Tyler from ESPN again. This is for Rekkles. You've been on a lot of teams throughout your career, a lot of Fnatic teams, Alliance, all that. What makes this team different than all the ones you've been on before?
I think I've always played with good players. I couldn't possibly say that like I've had the unfortunate time of playing with a bad team. I think all of my players have always been good. So I would say the biggest change this year for me is that we're actually playing really well together. I think even in 2015 when we had our Worlds run, we weren't that great as a team. I think we were getting really carried by Huni, and when he couldn't carry against Ku Tigers, I think we didn't really have much to offer. Meanwhile, this time, pretty much regardless of what teams do against us, we always have someone popping off, someone doing really well, and I think that's why we are where we are. I think we just have pretty much no weaknesses at all, so people can't really prepare well against us, and they can't really do crazy things against us because we just answer everything.
It's been 7 years since you were going to the finals, Worlds, so what does that mean to you?
Honestly, I don't really feel like it means that much that I made the finals. I think if I were to lose, which won't happen, but let's say it were to happen, then I don't think I would feel like I accomplished anything or I reached something that I have been striving for, because honestly the only thing I want is to win. So I just see winning or losing as like the only things you can choose from, and I don't think it matters when you lose. So I think it doesn't mean much.
Yeah, I think most of us are happy and somewhat relieved, but at the same time we're not satisfied yet. Like we're happy, but it doesn't feel like we've actually won anything yet. So we just want to make it further than here, and we can start celebrating if we hopefully actually win the whole thing.
So it's hard to say when exactly we got. I mean, right from the get-go we were already winning, so it was already in our favor right from like level 3. So I always felt like we were trying to push our lead and trying to get more and more objectives. But I think when it really broke was when we got the Baron, I believe. I think once we got that, kind of just ended the game, and we just pushed our waves, and then we just killed the Twitch. So going into the World Championship, I really want to play against Rookie because everyone had been hyping him up a lot, and I'm really happy that we got to play him already in groups. So I kind of found out like what his strengths are and how he plays, because this will give us a big advantage when we go into the final. Because I feel like I didn't show as much as he did, and I think I can change a lot in the upcoming week, and I can perform a lot differently than what last time we played against him. While I think he will play a lot of the same way. So in that sense, I think we have a pretty good advantage.
I think our chances are higher than theirs. I think honestly they had a free semifinals, so you can't really take too much from that. And in the quarterfinals, they might as well have lost. So I don't really feel like they deserve to be here, but I don't really feel scared. I think we already beat them before, and it wasn't random, or it wasn't us being just better on the day. I think we're just better in general. So I think we are the favorites in the final.
So I definitely think LeBlanc is really strong in the meta right now. They were sending a lot of bans in the mid lane. They had like 3 bans of like really strong mid laners. So we didn't want to take any chances, and we just tried to pick another really strong mid laner, which kind of nullified all their bans. So that's kind of the reason for why we picked her, just to keep a very strong early game and win the game for that. Other than that, I mean, Rekkles is just a very strong champion in the meta right now because it does well into Xin Zhao, and Xin Zhao is very powerful right now. So that's kind of the main reason as to why we picked up Rekkles.
I think it's really amazing if the Korean fans are actually cheering for us, that we're playing in Korea. I think that's really, really awesome because we'll have both Korea and Europe behind us. Do you have any?
Well, I just want to say I'm really happy about that. And we already heard earlier in the tournament that Korea really loves us, and we also really love Korea. We've been having a really great time here, boot camping and just playing and seeing all the different cities. So we just love that Korea is loving us and supporting us.
We will rely on their solo laners' performance a lot, and I think depending on how strong their draft is and what champions they can bring out, that will surprise us. We will be able to either stop them or not, and I think if we can't, then we will probably drop a game. But they will need more tricks or they will need more champions than what they've already shown in the semi-finals to catch us off guard to be able to perform like this consistently. So I think 3-1 is reasonable.
So in the ending ceremony where you guys were stood by the trophy, we saw Rekkles. You were standing really close to the trophy, and you were actually looking at the trophy. What's going on in your mind?
I just wanted to if I was allowed, I would have checked the weight because I want to know if I can carry it on my own after we win, or if I actually need my teammates to help me. So I was having a look.